There's so many overdubs on Love Sexy. Just layers of, I mean, I know you've heard Alphabet Street. That's
Yeah.
3 bass parts, like 3 bass guitars. Levi, I talked to Levi once about how he had to consolidate. Like I had to take the best parts of each performance to kind of make it all work live. Like he kind of pushed all 3 of the takes together and figured something out. Yeah.
So with the head, is it audible through the headphones, or you have to be a musician to hear the 3 bass tracks?
Well, no, because the way Prince plays, like Prince, it's funny, man, because I know so many people who are like, why did he always bury the funk like that? I'm like, that because it's because if you put too much funk forward, then I think it changes the appeal of your music. I think it's, I think Prince was always wanted. He just liked things to be shrouded in mystery. Like even on those early records, like the synth work, a lot of those. I think actually Fink told me. I said, man, if you didn't hardly play on 1999, what happened when it was time to learn that music? He's like, Prince just handed out cassettes of the album and said, learn this.
Right.
I said, did he tell you what patches he used? He's like, nope. Me and Lisa had to figure all that out by ourselves. So he was stacking patches. He was taking one patch and then putting another keyboard on top of it. So there's no program in the OB or the OBXA that will make that sound. You got to create something, otherwise you don't have enough hands.
Right. Yeah. We had Eddie M and John Paris on last week. And Eddie said something like that. His first rehearsal when he was with Sheila, Prince said, tomorrow I want you to bring tape recorders because I'm not going to remember all this stuff. So it's up to you to learn. So, yeah.
Here's what's ironic though, is that he would still remember. I mean,
right.
I mean, after I was gone, Morris told me about a moment when they were in rehearsal. Prince had his back. He was playing piano. He had his back to the lights and everything. And it was during like his solo thing. And this was rehearsal. And he said Prince stopped and he looked up and he said, I told you I don't want to see that color on my stage. To the lighting guy.
Yeah.
And it's like nobody even knows how he saw it. Like, but then I thought to myself, I know Prince. I'll tell you what, he's looking at the reflection on the ground. Okay. He's looking for a certain pattern because that's the type of dude he was. Because that's the type of guy I was, sort of. Like you start to learn to look for things to measure your environment by, like even musically, So that's what I think happened. And actually, I was also the one who figured out, at least the one person Prince knows knew that figured out that he recorded the first 3 songs on Parade in one sitting. He recorded the drums first.
Okay.
Like, I think I just have very good sort of like analytical skills or something.
Right.
Like, especially when it comes to recording arts. I was like, I thought to myself, like, that's the only way he could have done this. And I finally asked him. He was like, "Who told you that?" He was upset because I was like,
you figured it out.
Yeah, I know. I just sort of figured it out, and he just kind of.
Well, being an extraordinary drummer like yourself, what kind of style of drummer, or maybe that's too broad about that Prince played? Did he have a certain style like he would play as a drummer? How would you categorize that?
Well, he was really into Tower of Power when he was a kid, and their drummer is phenomenal. His name is David Garibaldi.
Right.
And actually, they say that the beat for 777-9311 was a factory setting in the Lynn machine that was composed by David Garibaldi.
Oh, wow.
I haven't been able to find I haven't been able to confirm all the facts yet. Right. I was gonna do a podcast with Bruce Forat, who took over the Lynn company. Like he took over Lynn and Oberheim, I think. Mm-hmm. He bought the company from Roger Lynn, I think. I I was going to talk to him because he was an early programmer at Lynn. And I was going to talk to David Garibaldi at the same time and try to get to the bottom of this, because Jelly Bean couldn't tell me. He's like, man, I don't know what they were doing.
That's right. And Jelly Bean, hey, you sounded a little like
all I know is I was underpaid.
Right.
All I know is I didn't get my money straight.
Yeah, we love Bean. Hey, and you guys have stayed in the Twin Cities, so you got to give you guys a lot of credit for that. You run into each other in town a lot?
When I used to play down at Bunkers, I kind of stopped after the pandemic. It was just time for me to do something different. I'd been in that band for more than 30 years.
Wow.
And during the pandemic, I did a lot of it was cathartic for me. Mm-hmm. Like, it really helped me kind of try to figure out who I was and what I was trying to do with the time I got left. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it had an adverse effect on a lot of people that I knew. But for me, it helped me to kind of re-identify. I know who I am as a musician, but who I am as a man,
right?
You got to have some time, some introspection. You got to figure out. It's like that was the longest I had been away from performing since I started.
Wow.
So it gave me. I really had to well, who are you, man? Do you like yourself? Like, do you feel like you're really contributing to the world? Are you living the principles that you espouse? It really was like a meditative thing for me,
Yeah.
And I kind of came out of it like, I need to do something new. I need to stop complaining about being in environments where I'm not in charge and the person who is leading me is unfit. I need to take an initiative. Mm-hmm. And that's when I put my band Urban Classic together, which is.
And you got another gig February 2nd, right?
February 2nd at Crooners. At Crooners Supper, what do they call it?
We'll have the link in the description.
Or something like that. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Who's in the band? You, Tommy?
Me, Tommy, G Sharp, who was legendary. It took Sir Terry Casey's job in Maserati, but then that record got shelved. He moved here to be in Maserati, and then they broke up.
The Bad Boys of Paisley, right?
Castaway, yeah. So he's like, oh, I better make the most of it. So G's, G was in the combo twice in 30 years.
Wow.
So we've been kicking it forever. And I just during the pandemic, I was like, well, who would I reach out to? And he was the first person. I was like, G, let's start a band. You got me.
Right.
And so, and from there, it's Barbarella, me, a bass player from New York named Rod Long.
Okay.
Who's just fabulous. He subs for Sonny at Bunkers. Okay. And a young guitar player named Jeff LaCrone, who God bless him. He's hanging around with some gnarly folks, man, because we're very expressive, and I get the feeling that he comes from he maybe a Methodist or a Lutheran background, and he's very quiet and soft spoken, and I tell a lot of off color jokes, and sometimes
I wouldn't think of that of you.
I'm sorry, man. I'm just kidding. It's getting in that environment. And especially with G, we bring the best and the worst out of each other. We talk a lot of BS, man.
Right.
And I see Jeff LaCrone, he's like 33, and he's just kind of, I see him mortified sometimes. And then we just, hey man, you better toughen up. This is how it is. So he tolerates us, and we try not to make it too rough for him. But then we got a horn section, and another local talent, JB, sings with us, and also a Midwest legend, Mark Lichtai, blue-eyed soul singer from Iowa.